How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build that positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to make a shift. If you want to know how to go from whatever state you're in, whether that's low, negative, anxiety, sad, into a different state, preferably a positive one, this is the episode for you because we're going to do just that. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive space. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. Well, before we get started, if there's something that you enjoy or take away from this episode, if you're on YouTube or Spotify, you can actually leave a comment below. Not only does it help me know what resonated with you, but somebody else might read your comment and might inspire them to give this episode a listen. I want to make this the #1 mindset podcast in the world, and the best way to do that is together. So whether you share this podcast or leave a positive comment, it means the world to me, and I could never thank you enough. But let's dive into today's episode. So the shift. Now we're going to do this together. So I hope you're ready to make a shift. I hope you're ready to, whether it's take notes or take notice or just pay attention to something that actually will change your life. This is so powerful and it's so simple at the same time, but you can do this. So what I want you to do is think about yourself, like really visualize yourself separately from you, as if it was a video camera or a scene for a movie where you're looking at you. Now imagine yourself doing something that you don't want to do. And it could be simple. It could be cleaning up the house, or it could be hard. It could be having a difficult conversation that you know you need to have. Or maybe it's going to the gym, or maybe it's eating properly that will heal you and lift you up with the right foods. Whatever it is, visualize yourself. For this example, I'm going to use something very, very simple. Just imagine yourself cleaning a disgusting house. Like your house is filthy. You don't want to do it. There's trash everywhere. Maybe it's the kids made the mess. Maybe it's your spouse made the mess. Whatever it is, it's a mess that you didn't make, but yet you are the one that has to clean it up. That's the example we're going to use. So imagine yourself standing there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the energy, the frequency into that version of yours mind. And this is how we do it. Imagine that version, like you could just see them. Like imagine that person seeing them, and then imagine that you can see the words and the sentences that are going through that version of yourself's mind. And what it's saying is, I can do anything. Life is so good. I am so fulfilled. This task in front of me, I'm going to have so much fun doing. I'm so grateful for this life. I'm so proud of who I've become. I'm so amazed at this house that I have, how much better I can make it. I'm so strong. I'm so confident. Life is good to me. Everything is working out. Life is powerful. I am powerful. Things are amazing. Imagine viewing that version of you and just seeing those thoughts pour in over and over and over and realizing that that version of you, that's all that version thinks. Always, that record is on repeat. I am amazing. Life is good. Things work out for me. I receive the light. The light is guiding me. I have purpose. Everything, even the obstacles, are good for me. Imagine that. Now, that person, how do you think their life experience is going to be? And I'm not saying that they're thinking this way like they're forcing themselves to think away. This is their default way of thinking. No matter what happens, the default narrative in this version of yourself's mind is these positive words. Life is good. There's love in everything. There's positivity everywhere. It's all happening for me. This looks great. This looks wonderful. I feel the love here. That version of you is you just operating on a different frequency. You see, the thoughts that are in your mind aren't just thoughts, and they're definitely not yours. They're things you observe just as you're observing in this scenario. But the thoughts that are in the mind are actually the frequency that you're operating in. That's why it's not how the world is, it's as you are. It's the perception is the reception, meaning you see, you experience, you feel based on your frequency. It doesn't matter what's happening externally. If it mattered so much what's happening externally, everybody would feel the same. Everybody would think the same. Everybody would experience the same life, but that's not the case. Two people can go see the same movie and take away two different things. Two people can have the same conversation and take away two different things. So it's not the thing, it's the who. And the who is the frequency that you're operating in. If you want to change your experience, if you want to feel different, if you want that positive mindset, it starts with paying attention to the thoughts that are in your mind. If the thoughts that are in your mind would not create a happy experience, if they're thoughts that you wouldn't tell anybody else, then they're no longer serving you and you need to shift. You need to make a purposeful, a impactful decision to not allow those thoughts in your mind anymore. Now, you can't just say, I don't want these thoughts anymore, and they stop. That's not how it works. You have to train yourself to get into the frequency that you want to be in. Once you get into the frequency that you want to be in, those become your default thoughts. Well, how do you get there, you wonder? You are powerful. You have more ability than you realize. You have more control, more creation power than you realize. It starts by manually putting the thoughts in your mind. If you have to write them down every single day, read them off again and again and put them in your pocket so that you can't stop thinking about them again. Every time you put your hand in your pocket, you feel the note, you feel the letters, you feel the frequency, and you run them through your mind. If that's what you have to do, then do it. If you have to record them on your phone, on a recording app, and listen to them again and again as you stare in the mirror, then do it. Whatever you have to do to start pushing those words into your mind, eventually those will become the default narrative. You and myself do not have the ability to focus on everything at once. Eventually there's a cap to what we can focus on. When you put those thoughts, those positive energy thoughts in your mind again and again and again, and you override and you just make this commitment to, I am going to observe these thoughts always. It's not about feeling the thoughts. It's not about believing the thoughts at this point. It's about commitment to having them. When you commit to having them, no matter what, once you finally break through that belief system that you're going to go back to the old way of thinking because you think the new way so often, once you break through, that's when you become. Those then become the default way of thinking because you are speaking in alignment now, and then the most important, you're acting in alignment. The action, that's why they say, actions speak louder than words. The actions is what really generates and shakes up the vibration. The thoughts, seeing those in your mind, that's creating the map, that's setting where you want to go, that's creating the plan, the purpose, the place, how you're going to do it. But you still have to speak it. When you start speaking it, it really starts going into the energy. It starts making its way around. Other people start hearing. When other people hear the way you speak, then their perception of you starts to change. When their perception of you starts to change, it reinforces what you're becoming. Then the actions are what truly make the difference. When you put into action, meaning you're acting in alignment with the vision, not the lack of, so you're not acting as if somebody that doesn't have it, you're acting as if someone that does, then that charges up the frequency anymore, or more, the vibration more, and it moves you because the law of attraction says likes attracts like. It moves you into the new vibration, and those now become your new thoughts. So imagine experiencing a world where every obstacle, everything where someone does something wrong to you, when something bad happens to you, your default way of thinking is positive. You still see the good. That doesn't mean something bad happens and you ignore it. You do see what the bad thing is. You do have to deal with it, but your default energy receptor, like how you receive, remember your perception is your reception, you still receive the good no matter what. So that means 9 things bad can happen, 1 thing good. You take the energy from the good and you handle the bad, versus being in a negative mindset where 9 good things happen and 1 bad, but the bad weighs you down and you can't even enjoy the good because you're locked in with the bad, even though it was 1 out of 10. This is how you make the change. It's really this simple. It's commitment to changing what's in here. You are a creator of your experience. You observe and you create. So that means you create what you observe. So start by changing the thoughts that you're observing. So you observe something different, something positive, something loving, something bright, and then you'll create that. It's that simple. You can do this. You absolutely can do this. And I said in an earlier podcast, I think it was 2 episodes ago, you've already won, because the prize is not what we're going for. Receiving the things is not what we're going for. It's about becoming. But you already are what you need to become. You are the powerful creator. So you've won. You have the ability. You have won. No matter what, you will create something. That's winning. You get to decide the experience. That's winning. You were gifted a choice. That's amazing. Everything is good. Everything is positive. Everything is for you. It's just up to you if you want to step in a little bit further. If you want to make that choice to take that control a little bit more. If you do, I hope you make it a positive one. I hope you raise your frequency and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a positive perspective on whatever it is that you're going through. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook group all down below. So I appreciate all the follows there. And if you're ready to level up, if you've been wanting to work with me, if you listened to podcasts before, or you've been thinking about working with a mindset coach, now would be the best time. My one-on-one coaching is going to be closing at the end of the year. I believe I could fit 2 people in. Now, the clients that I'm currently with, we will continue on. We will work as long as you'd like. But if you want to join on the one-on-one program, it will only be available till these spots either fill up or the end of the year, and I'm transitioning into some other type of coaching, which is all great things. But if you want this one, the best way would be to reach out to me via Instagram. There's a link down below. You can just shoot me a message. And in fact, even if you don't want to do a coaching program, but you just want to say hi, or you just have a question on something, I really love the interactions when people reach out, and I really love helping people. Like, that's what this is all about. So either way, whether you reach out and say hi, ask a question about the coaching program, or just listen to the podcast, I thank you so much, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.